So apparently I just don't know where my poi are, at least the ones that are good you can see, so I kind of had to do some homemade things here. Just some bandanas and juggling balls. Thought I'd explain a little bit what they were though. So today I'm going to try to teach you guys some polyrhythm butterflies. Yay, butterflies! These are probably one of my favorite moves to do. The basics for it, what I suggest you know before you even really try to learn these, would be the 4-beat thread the needle, because this little transition point where you slide up your arm is kind of key for this move. I also suggest that you practice a little bit with polyrhythms, which is simply having one poi move faster than the other one. So let's say this red one here is going to do 2 rotations for every one of the white ones. A good way, I think, to practice those are just at your side, maybe even with an extension. And then you can get the feel really well for spinning them at different times. Boop. So yeah, I'd just kind of go along, practicing these, preferably in butterflies since that's what you'll be doing, and then getting rid of that extension, and just getting the feel for that polyrhythm. Now the next step is to, of course, put it into the butterfly, where if you watch, try to focus on this white one right here. One hand is doing an extended circle, while the other one is doing an anti-spin motion. I actually think of these more as thread the needles rather than butterflies, because with the thread the needle you kind of always have one poi in front of the other one, and then you kind of move them past at this transition point where you can both get them by. And this is basically the same way, only the one that's going to be doing more rotations, so we're going to start out with this red one here, is always going to be in front of the white poi here. Except for when you get to that little transition point, because obviously you can't keep it there all the time or your arm will get hit there. So, you kind of slide it forward there. And this is where I recommend knowing the 4-beat thread the needle, because it feels pretty much exactly the same as that transition right there from front to back, as it does for the transition like this. So, when we're doing these over, kind of coming down butterflies, the transition point is always going to be at the bottom, right here. Boop. Right there. Of course, it's the opposite when you're doing them the other way. See, I'm not very good at these ones. Boop. Could also do this with polyrhythms. You can do just slight minute changes, like you don't have to keep them at ratios of like say 2 to 1. You can do kind of little quarter changes, and like these are definitely one of my favorite things to do with polyrhythm, where you can just kind of have these like sporadic looking butterflies where it doesn't really look like it has too much pattern to it, except for that they're all over. Maybe throw in a couple of these. Good times. Now my idea behind these isn't that your hands are going in a circle, but more of an isosceles triangle. So say, you know, wherever motions you're going, if you're doing butterfly, your hands are moving up and down. Split time, side to side. Now you have these kind of diagonals, which are, I guess, a cross between them. But your hands are still on this diagonal line here. So I like to think of the 2 diagonal lines and then the split time line. And you can kind of go between them here from split time, diagonal, diagonal. And with that, you can kind of start putting together your own things. But it's just good fun with butterflies.